Welcome to Inquiry into Self. So, letting go and bliss for me are really the same thing. It's just when it feels like bliss is when it kind of happened without me noticing it. When it feels like letting go, it happens in the context of a lot of noticing. So, life is this constant invitation of letting go. It can be any little thing or any big thing when it just feels like, well, I thought that was essential to life. I can look at political situations and think, well, I thought that's the way things ought to work. I can look at people's parenting. I can look at my own relationships. I can look at my own, how I handle finances, how I handle cleanliness in my home. I mean, any area of life, we have little rules that we think life should abide by. Obvious things, you know, uh, the my car should be in working order, or I should know where I put my whatever last time I put it down. My wedding ring shouldn't be lost. My husband shouldn't lose his wedding ring. There's just so many little things we just think, well, that's just kind of standard. Like that's the minimum, the bare minimum. Well, there is no bare minimum. What's amazing is that life is always good, as it turns out. But there is no bare minimum for how that goodness can show up. So when we're in that point where life is inviting us to let go, it will feel like we're constricting, or it will feel like we're expecting something more. It will feel like it's being wrenched open. And, as long as we hold on to that belief, and lots of times we can't even get the belief to go away, you know, I should be paid fairly compared to so and so. We might just think this is just minimum, right? And that's the cost. That's the cost. Any area where we think we're right is the cost. But I just have rehearsed over and over and over and over that when I let go of that belief, it turns out goodness shows up. Goodness can look any way. Goodness doesn't have to fit any requirement. So even when, I'm closing around an idea, then I just really sink into the pain of it until I can feel I'm exhausted. Like it's just not worth it anymore. I'm not going to barter back and forth with life. Obviously, life is leading this other way. Something is showing up differently. So I just feel the pain of it, really, really let my mind register how much pain it's causing to hold on to this expectation. And then I just rehearse how many times goodness has shown up in a way I did not expect. Over and over, goodness shows up in ways I don't expect. I didn't get into one graduate school. The other graduate school turns out had a much better scholarship program. On and on. The goodness that has happened in my life from not getting what I thought I wanted. It's like I just have this repository of this surprise goodness I've noticed. And I also know that I like an adventure. I like to discover that I'm wrong and that the universe has something even better planned. That it's not all relying upon my imagination, my coordination, my determination. No. And it could be that I have to watch loved ones go through things that look very painful. But the universe will show strength for them. The universe will give love for them. Every resource that they need is within them too. So obviously I'm available as I can be available, but I know the universe is working good all the time. So the part of me that's holding on at any given moment, you know, it's just got to run its course. It can't hold on forever. This is a one-way game. The universe has its way. And I signed up for that. I signed up to know truth more than ego. I signed up to see all the ideas shattered and see benevolence shine through over and over and over. So when there's a new time coming up, well, I just know on the other side, it's going to be the same thing again. Goodness showing up in a way I hadn't expected. So you can find that part in you that likes to open. Obviously, there's plenty of parts that like to constrict. And when they're in charge, you just let them run their course, but pay attention to them. Pay attention to, wow, there's constriction behind my eyes, constriction in my throat, constriction around my heart, constriction in my guts, constriction in my hands. But you may find somewhere there's also space. Around my heart, there's actually space. Around my head, there's actually space. Around my hips, around the root of my body, there's space. And then just explore, well, what does that space look like? Just bring a little more attention into that place where there is space. I can just feel that around my head is this kind of glow, or around my heart is this gentle embrace. Now just feel the space, how it's got room. It has curiosity. It has receptivity. Just feel how, despite all the parts of us that may be closing, some part is still receptive. Just breathe into that receptivity. Just feel, yeah, there is some receptivity here. Yes, there is a lightness, there is a naturalness, an effortlessness. And we can just feel that naturalness and effortlessness, even if it's just a little sliver, you can just feel that it's there too. All the holding, all the planning, all the attachment, it's not the only thing. So I can feel that there's some openness here. I can feel that there's some spaciousness. And I can feel curiosity. What is this? What is this that has the capacity to be a more nothingness? What is this that doesn't have so much structure and definition? It has this openness. What is this? And I can feel that while there's a lot of energy running in the constriction is a little bit more towards the dead end of the scale, while the space is a little bit more towards the alive end of the scale. So, wow. Despite all this holding, there is this aliveness. And I just invite the aliveness, the spaciousness, to be the holding for the constriction. As much as I want life to go my way, there's this spaciousness that knows of possibility, that knows of potential, that knows of unharmability. And I can just feel this spaciousness as the greater context for the holding. The holding may not go for days, who knows? But that's fine. I'm not attached to even that happening. I'm just allowing the openness to be the context for the constriction. And whatever that constriction is, it can be illness, weakness, physical pain. It can be hurt. It can be diminishment of some sort. Confusion. All of those, it's nice to put a name on that. Very nice to name the constriction. That actually contains it a bit more. So I put a name on the constriction, and then I just sense the spaciousness that's holding, that's available, that's not arguing with it. The spaciousness isn't pursuing its agenda, it's just flowing naturally. Just be in the spaciousness. Rest as the openness. And there's a sweetness to not knowing. There's a sweetness to not carrying it all. There's a sweetness to not having to prove anything. There's a sweetness to being willing to be all of it. Oh, maybe I can be willing to be the most vulnerable one. Maybe I can be willing to be the last one. Maybe I can be willing to be the one who takes the hit. Maybe I can be willing. All the roles are possible here. And feeling the willingness is a gift. There's a little bit of joy to taste. Oh wow, there is still some willingness somewhere here. And now instead of trying to forge my way through the brush, there's like these paths just opening up. Oh right, doesn't have to go the way I wanted. Oh right, there could be support and help coming to those people from some other way. You think of political situations. Oh right, maybe this suffering isn't for naught. Maybe there is good that could come of it. So there's this willingness to just allow nature, allow harmony that isn't dictated by our prescriptions. And as that allowing grows, at some point there is the letting go. At some point there is a tipping. Joy is just inevitable when we're not holding on. I can be joyful that I'm not doing what I thought I was going to do. Instead, I'm journaling. I'm listening to some music. I'm having time of solitude. Or I'm watching the circus of a busy meeting, the circus of a busy life, the circus of a busy house, whatever it is. The willingness just kind of relaxes us. And then when there's no preconceptions, the joy is so much more natural. I'm not proving anything. I'm not forcing anything. However it happens is okay. And then when there's that letting go, it's, it can be as like a rough ocean, or it can be like a smooth glass ocean. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It can be ruckus. It can be still. We're just, okay, we're riding this ride. There's a freedom to not having to know, to not having to make it happen a certain way, to knowing that goodness can look a different way than we thought. And no longer is the joy based on any circumstance. The joy is the knowing of what we are, this flowing movement. The joy is not about an identity or a philosophy or a predictable anything. The joy is the simplicity of aliveness that isn't harmable. The space that is always already there. And, as the constriction and pressure relaxes, it really is amazing to look at what we had been attached to. I thought I shouldn't get cheated. I didn't know. I thought I shouldn't, whatever, be abandoned, or I thought I shouldn't. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. There's just this openness that goodness doesn't have to look the way we thought, that the aliveness, this current, it's this energy that just doesn't stop. That is orchestrating. And there's just this perfect energetic harmony. Turns out we can share a car with someone else. Whatever it is. there's just so many ways that the goodness can show up in how we didn't expect. And aren't we glad? Aren't we glad the goodness isn't dependent on our plans? It's just such a wonder, such a relief, such a lightness. So this opportunity to really feel into the letting go process and how it opens into bliss is just a reminder. We don't want to know best. We want goodness that is beyond our minds. And it's that wonder that we find over and over teaches us that there's a space bigger than our constriction.